can we talk about this daily Ethereum candle for just a second? That's a daily candle on Ethereum. From that swing low to swing high, we're looking at around a 20%, almost a 20% daily candle. And the timing of this, you see this yellow line right here in the middle of the screen, Bitcoin halving, the timing of this, not only the candle, not only the technical move and what's happening. We're going to talk about the technicals of this, what this means for Ethereum and altcoin markets, but just in general, for this phase of the bull cycle, paired up with the actual headline. This is the headline. Ether jumps the most in 18 months on speculation of ETF approval. ETF approval. There's no guarantee this is going to happen, everybody, but if this happens, I want to talk about in this video what this means for altcoin season. Not just Ethereum, but for altcoin season. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into this. Before we dive into the charts, I do want to go over to the piece of news that is floating around. Talk about some foresight here. Coinbase says, and this was May 17th, 3 days ago. Coinbase says market underestimating timing and odds of spot Bitcoin or spot Ethereum ETF approval. We think the market may be underestimating the timing and odds of a potential approval, Han wrote in a Thursday report. Ether may yet have the potential to surprise to the upside in the coming months and does not appear to have major sources of supply side overhangs, such as token unlocks or minor sell pressure. Basically, Ethereum in such a primed position, and people may be underestimating the power to the upside. And then look, we have a few days later. Ether jumps the most in 18 months on speculation of ETF approval. Ether surged the most in 18 months, everybody. The native token of Ethereum blockchain extended gains after Bloomberg Intelligence ETF analyst Eric Balkunas said he and his colleague James had increased the estimated probability that a spot Ether ETF gets approved to 75% from prior 25%. So that's the news. And it's not a guarantee. Exchanges are being asked right now to update their 19B4 filings on an accelerated basis. And we might find out soon. By the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, 3 people familiar with the situation told CoinDesk, suggesting they may be moving to approve these applications ahead of a key deadline this Thursday. Doesn't mean the ETFs will be authorized, though. Would-be issuers also need their S1 applications approved before the products could begin trading. SEC could take an indefinite amount of time to approve the S1 documents. SEC, time and time again, has let us down, right, over the years. So we can't just put all our eggs in one basket and say, you know what, this is happening, this is bullish, especially that green daily candle, because this is really nice speculation, a really bullish scenario that's playing out right now. That green daily candle could offer a little bit too much hopium, where it's just like, dude, we won, this is it. And then all of a sudden SEC backtracks or SEC doesn't do what we want them to do. So we have to be careful right now, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about the price of this, the chart, what's happening on the chart. Incredible key indicator playing out right now that I want to discuss. Not just a huge daily candle, not just the fact that if we look at what happened right off this 20-day, breaking through the 50-day, 2-day, that 50-day moving average, not only those things, not only this trend line being broken powerfully, the separation is exactly what we want to see, but it's this box here. That is Ethereum's long-term Fibonacci, cycle Fibonacci. If we're talking about Bitcoin, many of you, if you watch my Bitcoin videos, know exactly what that area is on the Bitcoin charts. That's the bull market doors for crypto, basically. Swing high to swing low, that resistance level, lower high resistance. Well, this is what it looks like on Ethereum's chart. And for me, that's not to say that's the Ethereum bull market doors, but it's an incredibly relevant area, and Ethereum making its way into that range right now on this chart. And I want to talk about why that is so crucial, not just for Ethereum, but for altcoin season in general. So if we're looking at this, there's the move into that Fibonacci, the bull market doors, we can call them. Swing high to swing low. Let me chart this real fast so that we can see it. Look at that. All that bear market exit, and we're in this lower high resistance zone. The reason why it's so important, and then we're going to talk about just how this plays into altcoin season. The reason why it's so important is if you look at last cycle, here's last cycle, Ethereum's lower high Fibonacci, swing high to swing low. The charts are so similar, it's crazy. There's the Fibonacci. What I want to point your attention to is Ethereum broke that area all the way after Bitcoin broke its own bull market doors. So this was November 2020. Bitcoin breaks those doors, right? And it took that long from November to basically January for Ethereum to break that area. Now, if we go back to the Ethereum chart, check this out. This is Ethereum's chart. I put a note on here when Bitcoin broke its doors on this chart. So Bitcoin broke its doors right here, February 2024. Right now, we are not 2 months, we're around 3 months, later, but months later, and Ethereum is testing this area. It is playing out so similar to last cycle in terms of these two occurrences. Bitcoin breaking its lower high Fibonacci, months later, Ethereum breaking its lower high Fibonacci. That's a key thing for me in terms of tracking these cycles. And it's also a key indicator in saying altcoin season is getting primed right now. I've been saying that anyway. Now, we have this headline sprinkled into altcoin season preparing, altcoin season getting ready to happen. If we go look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, just look at this. I've been tracking the Bitcoin dominance chart, many of you know, and I've been just very consistent in saying, here's the Bitcoin halving, altcoin season likely somewhere over here, right? We're not even there yet. This is what last cycle looked like. Oh, there's Bitcoin halving. Here was altcoin season. Look, there's January 2021. What was that? What was happening in January 2021? Let's go see. January 2021, Ethereum was breaking that lower high Fibonacci. So this area right now, and I don't know if it's going to break. I don't know if Ethereum's making the move now. I want to be very clear about that. This isn't confirmed, right? The higher end of this Fibonacci is around $4,000. But last cycle, this pretty much, when Ethereum broke this area, this is what triggered Bitcoin dominance really starting to fall right here. And that's when altcoins really started kicking off, right? Altcoin season. So if this was to happen on the short term, there's a possibility Bitcoin is very close to topping out on this Bitcoin dominance chart. Altcoin season very close to beginning. And we might start seeing Bitcoin dominance start falling. But I want to say, even if Ethereum breaks this area and, crypto markets are moving, who knows what Bitcoin's going to be doing? Maybe Bitcoin doesn't underperform against altcoins. And maybe that doesn't happen, right? Maybe Bitcoin just does something crazy this cycle. But what I am saying is I'm very closely watching this Fibonacci on Ethereum, $4,000. What I want to make a note of right now is as Ethereum is making this powerful move. And by the way, everything I'm talking about with Ethereum, this is basically with this news sprinkled in, right? And it's incredibly speculative. If this plays out, the Ethereum, say Ethereum spot ETF, say it gets approved. This is amazing for Ethereum, obviously. But just as Bitcoin's approval was good for all crypto markets, I think the Ethereum ETF approval would be even more powerful and more bullish for altcoin markets across the board. And that's just my opinion. If we're going to look at this chart now, the question is Ethereum going to continue making its way to the upside? If this has legs, especially in the short term, we're talking about there's talk about this Thursday, right? If something good continues to keep happening going into Thursday, if this gets approved, there's no doubt this thing is probably getting broken. But I'd be very careful because we know how these things happen. We get these speculative environments and then it doesn't play out and then we're falling. Right now, for me, I'm just sticking with the technicals. It's a bullish environment in which things are happening and playing out. I'm sitting back waiting to see how this plays out. But sticking to the technicals, it's like, what's happening? Well, huge separation to the upside, exactly what we want to see. The 20-day curving up towards the 50-day. We want to see this cross the 50-day, right? We want to see this shift. This is bull market environment. We look at the last time this happened for Ethereum, the 20 above the 50, guess what it was? Higher highs and higher lows for quite some time, incredible gains. This is a story that might be kicking off for Ethereum, and I would say for altcoin markets right now. So along that journey, though, as always, when we get the separation from these moving averages, especially the 20, the 50, especially if this starts really making its way towards above the 20, I'm always watching for potential pullback to the area to see support. Is it there? And then continuation. Whether or not that technical move happens, I think it relies a lot on how much steam this news brings into Ethereum right now, because this is pretty new news. And this is the daily candle. If we actually just go to an hourly chart, you can just see this is like the last 3 or 4 hours or so. And Ethereum's making a really nice move. Is the move on the short term over? Not sure. But what I do know is the top of that Fibonacci, if we measure from where Ethereum is right now, around 10%. That move could happen overnight. And so $4,000, that is the area that I'm incredibly curious about on this Ethereum chart. What happens at that area? I will be watching very closely, and we'll see. We'll see how this plays out overnight. This is incredibly bullish, I would say, for crypto markets in general. Obviously, incredibly bullish for Ethereum, the number 2, the OG. So we'll continue tracking this, everybody, but really cool to see. No matter what coin you're holding, this is great for crypto and could be another huge win for crypto. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you cruising through. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.